Hey, deserving listeners. I get a lot of questions about the difference between coaching and counseling. In particular, patron Lyndon and patron Dr. Glenn have recently asked me about what are my thoughts about coaching. So I decided to do a mini deep dive on the topic to see what I could find. Also, I asked Mike Bundrant to come on to the show again because he's a coach and a counselor. Welcome to the podcast, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, Kirk. I really appreciate it.
Today, we're going to talk about the differences between coaching and counseling. What are the differences? What are people saying about each profession? What are the requirements of coaching? What are the ethical implications? What about counselors who choose to be a coach, such as Mike? What's the risk of counselors who want to also become a coach? And I'm going to present a bunch of stuff I found from coaching organizations and counseling organizations, because the American Counseling Association has discussed coaching and counseling and the difference. And long story short, I would say that about 1% of the available information is accurate, meaning that 99% of the information I came across is inaccurate. So I thought we would wade through some of that. What do you say, Mike? Sound good?
That'd be great. Making me nervous, though, in terms of what I know. Is it fall in the 1% or the 99%?
Well, we'll sift through that together. Also, I'm going to ask some tough questions, Mike, because I know that you like that sort of thing, because you
love it.
You're a brave man in that way.
Yeah, let's. You might as well open your eyes wide and stare at the issue.
Yeah,
right. Because
right.
it's not going away. So let's not run from it, because there are tough questions to be asked and answered about life coaching and mental health counseling too, right?
Right.
So let's do it.
This is the Psychology in Seattle podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. Who are you, Mike? How would you introduce yourself?
My name is Mike Bundrant. I'm with the INLP Center. We train life coaches, and I'm a former mental health counselor, an LPC, licensed in the state of New Mexico. My license is retired, so it's still there. I can unretire it at any time, but I'm leaving it on retired status. I practiced as an agency counselor, working under a psychiatrist and a clinical psychologist for several years, sort of working in the mental health system. And then I went and became a life coach and started training life coaches. So I've got a little bit of experience in both fields.
Cool. This episode is just for patrons of the podcast, so if you're listening to this and you're not a patron of the podcast yet, this episode will end before the content begins. If you want to hear the full episode, you have to become a patron of the podcast by going to patreon.com. That's patreon.com. When you become a patron, you get access to hundreds of patron-exclusive episodes in which we do deep dives into various topics. And when you become a patron, you don't have to listen to the vast majority of commercials. And also remember that a portion of your monthly pledge goes towards various charities that we support.